So welcome everyone. As Holly said, yeah, I hope you can hear me all right. And as Holly said, that I am broadcasting from our shared studio in Woolwich. And I normally work as well. There is a big print studio there where I also work normally. So I am Sisetta Zappone. I am an artist and art teacher specialized in printmaking. And today we're going to learn together the technique of monotype. Yeah, monotype technique is very, very nice and is one the most as an introduction to any other printmaking technique, but is in fact an hybrid in between painting and printmaking. And that is already in the word of monotype. Monotype, it means that just the one copy can be taken. It's very experimental, it's very direct, yeah? And I will be working along with you, yeah? Now, I would like to make a practical start, yeah? So we get our hands on immediately, yeah? We do a little check about the materials, yeah? And then we do a couple of printing proofs, yeah? And then I will show you some method and I will show you some slide just to get a little bit more inspired looking at the work of masters that they have been using monotypes as well. Essentially, like the one that said that is credited with the invention of monotype is called Gogain. But actually, there is like an Italian guy in the Renaissance and a Netherlands guy as well. They were already using monotype in the Renaissance, but we will see all of that later. Now, let's have a look at our bits of kit. I show you mine. Obviously, my one is a little bit more sophisticated and more abundant because I am a printmaker. So don't get overwhelmed if you don't have everything. But yeah, I got prayers, yeah, different kind, but like just even that one will do. And then I have the inks. You might have had just the one ink, is totally fine. Yeah, we're gonna start just using one color of ink. This one, for whoever then gets stuck with the technique or with printmaking, they are aqua, they are water-based from Speedball, and they are very good. And then I got a selection of paper up there and a few old brushes, which I'm gonna need later, baby wipes, that they are the best printmaker friend, and the other best printmaker friend is the wooden spoon, which we're gonna use for printing and applying pressure. Set of spatulas and plastic palette knife, and I got a little bit of washing up liquid and soap with water, yeah, for cleaning up afterwards. Okay, so normally, yeah, if you've been long time ago, or if you have ever been to an introduction to monotypes, sorry, this is not what I wanted to do. Yeah. If you have ever been to an introduction to monotype, yeah, what you would have said, yeah, is the method 0. Okay, what I call the method 0. Let's go through the method 0. Okay, we have our supports, yeah. Then we need to roll a little bit of ink on it, okay? And I show you, yeah, a little method that it makes the ink spreading a bit easier, okay? And we don't need a huge amount of ink, above all for starting with. Then we make a Z, yeah, because this kind of Z help the ink rolling heavily, yeah, and then we go square, soft, because what we want is a kind of even surface. And I can see it was a hair there. So start like this. And I don't know if you can hear the sound, yeah? This kind of the sound tells us that the ink is good to go and there is the right quantity, yeah? And it looks a bit velvety. It's not perfect, but today we are not after perfect edition. We just want to be like nice and experimental, yeah? So then we go on the plate. and we cover it all. Even if you have a smaller roller than that, that's fine. Yeah, because essentially this is what we want to do, just experiment a little bit. So for a start, I don't want a huge quantity of ink, because for the method 0, we don't need a huge quantity of ink. At the beginning, we're just gonna need pencil, and we get 2 pieces of paper, yeah? So one piece of, and I always like experimenting with different kind of paper, yeah, a lot of different ones. So in here I have like some kind of medium, you know, medium grammage paper, and then I have some sketching paper, yeah. So the first way when we learn a monotype, yeah, we just push in a drawing, yeah. So for example, like this kind of strange. I hope you can see all right, but you will see on the print because the light is a little bit strange. I'm sorry about that. Okay, it's very quick. So now essentially I'm doing this drawing, yeah, and I need to be mindful that wherever I put the pressure, I am essentially causing the ink to transfer. Yeah, so I can be very precise about it, and I have to be careful. Yeah, and every kind of mark I will do will show in a different way. Yeah, now we don't have a massive control of this kind of thing. I can even try to do different thing, and then let's see what we get. So this is the number 0, yeah? We get something like that, and we don't have an incredible control. We just know, yeah, what we are doing on here, yeah, which will translate, let me just switch to the other camera, that will translate in a different way on the bigger paper, yeah? And obviously the image is mirrored as in any printmaking technique. So be mindful that if you are writing, if you want to do any writing, you have to reverse it beforehand, okay? So Gogain was a master in this technique, yeah? For me, as a, I am more of a printmaker. I mean, like I've been trained as a master printer, yeah? So this technique, to me, the technique number 0, that's why I call it 0, because to me, when you work on the back of the paper, it's not really printmaking. Okay, so let's do some proper one now. We'll add more ink. And we just keep it simple for now. We just go with the one color again, yeah? This time, we just be mindful to use more ink on the plate. And please, guys, if you have any question about the paper, about the ink, about any sort of thing, just unmute yourself and ask, or pop it in the chat. Okay, so that's more like it. That's the method number 1 that we're gonna do now, yeah? And it's removing the ink. So I don't know if you are an artist, probably you have done this before, done this technique in which you you spread some charcoal, yeah, you smear some charcoal all over a bit of paper, yeah, and then you draw into it with the putty rubber, yeah, creating light and volume instead of going for lines, but you can also go for lines. So essentially, this is the base with which we're gonna start our drawing. And then I'm gonna pick a series of different tools for removing my ink. And these tools, they are a very fancy bits of blue paper, little spatula, and a cotton bud. We can also use chopstick. Chopstick, they're very good friend of printmakers as well. And a cocktail stick. Okay, so they are more or less all things that we might have home as well, yeah? So let's go with another one. My thing is kind of the beast, yeah, so I'm gonna make another kind of strange beast. And as you can see, yeah, the way you remove the ink, any mark will show in a different way, obviously. And I really like when you cannot, you know, when you just let the mark happen somehow. It. And if you are after some kind of cleaner and bold white lines, then you can do it with the cotton bud. And the cotton bud is great also if you want to create patterns, you know, something like this. And again, let's use even this, like you see, like whatever we do, that's why Monotype is great. Whatever we do is gonna show, you know, in a different way. Yeah, maybe I use more of the chopstick. Oh, I forgot to have a little fork. If we have like a fork, it's great as well because it gives us, like, you know, parallel marks. So like again, like any sort of things, like it's interesting for our mark making. Let's do some more stars. Okay. And again, obviously, like now I am talking while I'm doing it. So like I am sure that you're gonna do something better than that. But I'm gonna now print this. Yeah, I've been using different things until now. I've just been removing ink. Yeah. Again, I used white paper before. Now I go with this yellow. Oh, I want to give an eye though to my beast. It's kind of... Yeah, Mark, let's enjoy it, you know, try to do your own and find your own dictionary of shapes and techniques and marks that you like the best. Then, yes. So, as well, like it makes your life a lot easier, yeah, if your paper is previously cut to match the size of your plate. Or even if we got the chance and if I get some time later, I show you a registration method. The registration method in the printmaking jargon, it means when you work out a system yeah, to always put the image in the middle of your page. Now, this is a special roller I designed myself, and it's very heavy for printing. You can use any ink in Braille, but as I said, best friend of the printmakers, an old wooden spoon, yeah? And this is the movement we want to do, yeah? We got the back of the wooden spoon, we push the paper into the plate, so we allow the ink to transfer. And again, monotype, you know what? 60% is getting the quantity of ink right on the plate. Because sometimes, and this just come with experience, because sometimes if you build up too much ink, you're gonna splodge the image, and all the beautiful marks you make, they could merge. Yeah, this is what could happen sometimes. So be ready for that as well. Sometimes the splodging is quite enjoyable and expressive. Yeah, well, the lighting again is not great, but I can kind of see that my image. Yeah, you see that it's kind of, you can feel, you can see. So I know that the ink has definitely come that way. And yeah, very slowly I feel my print. And again, you see, I have drawn way more in here, but since they were very thin marks, yeah, this is essentially what I was saying about the splodging, yeah. And if you are after, you know, big and bold, you can see how clear it was, whatever I draw, yeah, with the cotton buds. And obviously, this kind of texture, the one I did with the paper, you know, you could also push fabric into it. But again, you know, even myself in here, I might, whether, let's say that, like whether I did push too much, so too much pressure, or whether I did put a tad too much ink. Yeah, because if I add less ink, I'll get more of the drawing I have done. Okay, but however, this is just something very experimental, yeah? So let's go with the method number 2 now. If we want, we can clean the plate. This is what I would probably do, so I can start fresh with new colors. Baby wipes, another great friend of printmakers, another bit of kit we should never miss. Even when we use oil-based ink, even if you're using oil colors instead of the printmaking ink, the baby wipes, they are great because they contain oil and they are not toxic, and they have like a very strong clean power. All right, then after I use it though, I need to dry with paper, yeah, to dry my plates. Again, method number 2, we add ink up. Yeah, we treat this little plate is like a piece of paper on which we want to paint. Okay, or for example, I can decide on the alphabet, I'll still roll or again, what I could do is applying the ink with tools in a different way, you know. to a desert island there, maybe. No. So essentially, with this technique, yeah, we can treat the plate as it is a canvas. So normally, and that's why, you know, most of the people that love painting, or whoever is a good painter, normally monotype is their favorite printmaking technique. Because in monotype, there's a lot of, now I'm messing about a little bit to show you what I'm doing. Like I'm messing about with the ink. I want to create, yeah. Plate. So again, you can be extremely precise, you know, can be, but also, oh, sorry. But also you can be very, very experimental with things. And monotype is great for a lot of things, like, you know, like for landscape, for portraits as well. Like if you do like above all, like the monochrome technique as we did before, you know, and you can just create, for example, your self portraits, you know, just by, so you can, what do we say, adding a pink, what else we can add? We can add red sun there. And again, we can create textures. Now, obviously, is up to you what you are doing. Taking my poster. No. Okay. Anyway, so this is just to give you an idea. It's not a beautiful work of art, but it's to give you an idea. So essentially, even inside the ink, you can go very detailed, but yeah, again, be mindful of the ink bit of the splodging. Yeah. Okay, so now let's try to print it again, and let's go for what kind of paper now. White again, chancing the registration because more or less that one. again. And again, as long as we keep, yeah, as we keep it steady, yeah, and where, yeah, we keep it steady for now. We don't move like the piece of paper. We can also peer into and see if we like the results. So for example, I am peering into, I'm spying on my prints a little bit, yeah. And I think I'd like a little bit more more ink to transfer in here. So I will just put it back, push more. If there is a lot of ink, sometimes we could even get the marks of this circular movement. Sometimes it helps the image, sometimes it doesn't. But again, it's all a matter of finding your way around. And obviously today, since it's just an introduction, we're going to be working on dry paper. But you could use watercolor paper or professional etching paper, previously soaked or skipped from the bag, to obtain even different results. But yeah, today we try to keep it like slightly more simple. All right, okay, so you can see it's quite watery effect, yeah, it's quite watercolory. And again, like, bear with me, I'm not doing anything amazing today, because I'm like, for me to do a nice image, it takes me months. I am a studio animal. But for example, you see in here, so we call it monotype, yeah, but here on the plate there is still quite a lot of ink, and I don't want to waste that in a way, yeah. So one thing I could do, yeah, is try to take another print. Normally, if I'll do nothing on the matrix, yeah, this one I would call a ghost print, but I will yeah, just do something else. So for example, yellow, no, maybe this one now, it becomes primes. Heel, slightly change. This. So essentially, just see what the plate tells you, yeah, because like sometime you might want to carry on if you particularly like a subject or an effect. Just carry on with it. Like, you know, you don't have to clean the plate every time. Okay, and for this one, I'm gonna be using obviously lighter paper. And yeah, let's use this bigger piece of paper as well. And that this paper is very light. And this one, in this case, is bigger, so I'll try to give it like kind of like a frame around. Yeah. And again, since I know there was this time, I have already pulled the print, so I know that I can press a little bit more because most of the ink has been removed and transferred on the then wooden spoon. One more. Really push hard. However, yeah, just have a play. Well, lighting is not great again, like because like the piece of paper is yellow. But again, you can go abstract, you can go very expressive, you can go naive. Let me show you on the other camera in the hope that it's gonna, the colors they're gonna be a bit better. You can go very expressive, you know, you can take it where you like. That's the fantastic thing about the monotype, you know, like its flexibility and the fact that this is really forgiving and it's really yeah, it's really open. It's really open and it's bottomless and it's totally addictive because yeah, you see it's kind of yellow, the paper really, and it's totally addictive because like you'll always think you can make a better print and you will try to make print after print after print. Now, method number 3, and then I show you some images. Yeah, method number 3. This time we get rid paper. Now I'll show you also something fun that you can do with the inks. Okay, so now we have my previous mess. We'll try to reduce it. I mean, paradoxically, it could be very messy printmaking, but it's always good, like, you know, keep your tools clean as you go. That is really helpful, and that makes your life a lot easier. I'm just taking a moment to do this. And we have this nice blue on a side. Collect as much we want. All printmaker, we are quite ink freak. We don't want to waste any ink. We always want to, you know, reuse it, make the most of it as much as possible. Then let's wash this drawing. And I clean the half of my brayer as well. Just the half. Okay. You should see well. Ready for something very exciting? We're gonna make a gradient, yeah, this time. And the method number 3 is stencils. And so we work, I show you that you can also use stencil and stamps. See what I'm doing? I am essentially getting two colors at the same time. And by moving it, you know, like posting me like ever so slightly, I am kind of merging, blending a little bit the two colors. Yeah. And that's quite satisfying technique. Yeah, because it's very simple and the effect is quite nice. So yeah, let's do it. If we use a small brayer, yeah, we need to be very, very careful of not messing up the direction. Yeah, always be mindful, try to be focused. Filmmaking can be very, very similar to some kind of meditation sometimes. It takes a little bit like mantras, you know, you gotta really be in the zone. So otherwise you risk to confuse things. Always observe your plate. Always listen to the ink. Use all your senses. And on this one, we want to build up a little bit more ink. Now we go more on the right side. Now the ink is telling me he wants a little bit more. Let's give it another tap. Ink. Yeah, so we got a gradient. As well, like, yeah, as printmaker, we need to get into the habit of not touching the plate. If we need to move it, yeah, move it, stick your finger on the corners, on the sides, and move it around. Yeah, because you're gonna impress your fingerprints on it otherwise. Okay, so we got our beautiful, very cool looking gradients here. We can work by cutting off some stencils. Okay, so you have a piece of paper here. Actually, let me get this out of the way. Yeah, you see again, like we touch it from the sides. There for now. And now I can cut kind of a moon shape. know what I'm doing, like a kind of spiral, then at some point just back. Or you can cut in some stars, whatever you fancy really. Or I don't know, a card, geometrical figures, whatever, you know. Okay, so now I just got like a couple of random shapes, and then I show you what I mean. Oh, you know, for making Christmas card, for example, you know that technique in which you cut a kind of like web, and you do like the snowflake, yeah. You can do with this technique, yeah. You know, you can print your Christmas cards with a lot of snowflakes like that. For example, I don't know, randomly suggesting things. So okay, I got my stencil there. The stencil, they're gonna protect and avoid the ink to stick on my paper, obviously, yeah. So yeah, this so as a result, yeah, the stencil bit, the bit that is stencil is gonna be in the color of the paper, yeah. That's what I mean. Okay, this kind of nebulosa there. No, strange star. And again, I mean, like this is our piece of paper. We decide for it. No one forbid us to try, you know, and to go back to technique we tried before, you know, so we can still punch again, mark, make some marks, or use this, or again, a little bit of nebulas there. And as well, because it happens to creative people, you know, like sometimes we have bits of kits from different techniques and stuff, yeah. Or for example, we can try to see, I mean, this is just an artificial one, this is a fake one, yeah. But yeah, what happens if we push in this leaf? Maybe we get something. Or what happens if I have a stamp with a B? So I can push in this stamp as well. And I can transfer a bit of the ink there. Just do it there. And then once I have the red there, I'll bring it down. Again. So yeah, just play around, yeah. So essentially this is to show you that you can use, or like even if you have like other kind of stamp, like for the blocks, like the mini blocks. Yeah, or great stuff to experiment with, you know. And again, even for card making, even if it is quite, you know, you do monotype, so they are quite unique. So you have like to keep doing and redoing and re-inking, but like to make a series of, you know, themed postcards, be very nice. So again, anyway, okay, this one got there by mistake. I'm gonna leave it, and I can paper. one is a bit too thin. I'll print it in a minute. I'm just gonna need to go to the toilet, guys. I'm really sorry. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Yeah, carry on with your own one, and I will be back.
How's everyone getting on? Feel free to unmute and just chat, or can pop something in the chat if you're happy to. But yeah, how are people doing? Or just reactions as well with the, you know, you can do those emoji reactions, quite handy, quick responses. Stav, how are you getting along? Love it, great.
Well, I find it fascinating. So I have just been watching. I haven't done anything myself.
Oh,
I think I'll do it later, but it's fascinating. I love it.
Yeah, it's quite mesmerising, isn't it? The different sort of marks you can make. I love the fade, the blending technique. Really nice one. Did anyone else have any thoughts or comments? Oh, sorry, Becky. Has everyone just been... Okay, well, we've got half an hour left. So do, like, feel free to be making alongside. Yeah, do get stuck in. I think it was a sort of demo, but as we go along.
Yeah.
So yeah, feel free to like pick up on any of those techniques. And I think that Sisetta is also going to just show some image.
Yeah. I will do this now after we do this.
Was the idea that people are getting stuck in as they go along, Sisetta? I mean, I think people can be just working as you demo. That's right.
Yeah. That's the thing. They don't have just to watch. Like that's the thing. Like they work along with me.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I'm sure. I'm sorry if I haven't left that clear from the beginning.
No, that's fine. I should also probably have clarified, but yeah, that's...
Yeah. I mean, like that's the thing. You have to start like from the very first method I've been demonstrating. Like you should just ride along with me. So yeah, from now on, please, and also while I show the PDF, just while I show the slide, just don't get stuck, but try along.
Oh, thanks for joining, Anna. Sorry you have to leave now, but yeah, I'm glad that was good.
Oh yeah, I always assume, I mean, well, I always assume like people, yeah, is starting like straight away with me. Still got some time left, and obviously once you get your inks out and stuff, like even if we stop,
yeah, definitely
you can carry on like in your own time and experiment. Ooh, yeah, that's the fancy bit. I will try to take another print. That was like on kind of like quite textured paper, so you can see the completely different effect, because like in the other demos I've been using like kind of lighter kind of smoother texture paper, but yeah, it's quite interesting, you know, painterly effect. And again, look, another thing I love doing is again playing with the ghost print. Obviously, you can also cut off this shape with acetate. When you do that, good thing about the acetates is that you can clean that and reuse it, while this one now you have to dispose them because they're just bits of paper. And for example, again, in here I can see there is still quite a lot of ink, and there is a kind of like costly, yeah, shape left. Again, I want to do something more on it, and print it again on a different kind of paper and see what happens. This, I put another bit there. And well, I said you can dispose the stencil, but you can also, if some of them has been holding on, you can reuse it. Maybe move it somewhere else. Maybe flip the position and see what happens. Yeah, and again, like I'm just giving you is a little bit of a brainstorm today, and there is a little bit of options. Yeah, I'm just giving you like a lot of different options to experiment with this technique. Then you have to find out what tastes good to you and what is more suitable for your practice.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see all of the different techniques. It's really versatile, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You can work like in so many different ways with it. You know, that's the amazing thing. And as I said, like I mean, like you see, like it's very straightforward. It's very direct. There is not a lot of prep required or any of that, because a lot of people, a lot of artists, they get put off by the waiting time or by like, you know, the fact that some printmaking technique, they do require, okay, the pro is that you then have a template you can repeat as much as you like. And you can print multiples, so, but sometimes it takes a lot of time in preparation. So for whoever likes a bit of direct experimental work, then Monotype is definitely more straightforward and more rewarding. Again, so that one, like I've been using like the same, yeah. I didn't even put ink again. I've just been adding few stamps. I'm reusing one of the stencils. And again, I'm using just, again, like a different kind of paper. That is more like printing paper, printing like digital printing paper. Off-white, kind of yellowish. You can't see that 100% properly because of the lighting in here, which I'm not an expert at setting up. Anyway. So you see, like you still, the ghost print, yeah, allows you to have like this kind, yeah, you can even print, that was the ghost of the previous print. That still leaves this kind of essentially, yes, ghostly mark, you know. And then I've been pushing like the fresh thing, so you can see.
It's really,
you know,
It's almost more defined than the other one in some ways.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. They are quite, I mean, they have two completely different flavors.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, and the experiment, and again, like, you know, it all depends from how much ink you build up, the kind of paper you use. So again, just have plenty of experimentation and possibility, and just, yeah, just let yourself go into this kind of like very straightforward and on experimentation. And now I'll show you some slides that are gonna be, again, quite inspiring for you, and they'll tell you, yeah, I'm a little bit academic. Some of my artist friends, they tell me, oh, you're so academic. I will go academic a little bit and tell you a bit about the technique and its history. All right, so yeah, monotype technique is, as we said, yeah, is a technique in which is allowed just one copy to be taken, not totally true, as we saw, and obviously is mainly you can monotype, you can just do the one image, yeah, mono, because in Greek monotype, it means one copy, mono. Okay, then we do have, like, this is already a little bit more into the printmaking jargon and the printmaking specific difference in between a monotype and a monoprint. Okay, essentially the monoprint could imply the existence of a template, yeah, while the monotype is always when we do create the image on a plastic or on acrylic surface that has got no previous shape in. Okay, so the monotype is the very painterly one. The monoprint is like this, for example. I don't know if you can see, there is a kind of a pattern in there, yeah, of kind of this kind of maculas, this kind of stains. So essentially this one, these three images, they are monoprints, because they are all done by spreading the ink in different ways on the same template. Yeah, but that's a bit very technical. So, who invented the monotype? Giovanni Benedetto Castiglione and Anton Salert, almost at the same time in two different places. Castiglione, he was in Bologna, and this is a monotype made by him, yeah, and we can recognize, yeah, the technique that we have done today together, because this is ink removal, yeah. Probably he has been just inking up the plate with the paint, with the oil paint on the surface, on a glass, yeah, and then he removed the ink with all this beautiful, you know, parallel cross etching and soft marks. And Salert, yeah, he was a little bit more on the illustration side, yeah. And again, this is ink removal. Can you see it? Yes. And this is ink adapt. So in this one, he has been essentially using a brush and ink, brush and ink, just directly on the plate, and then printed it. So that's the technique adapt. William Blake, he had his own way to put color on etched plates. So essentially the image would be an etching, and the color, it would be a monotype. Yeah, so essentially would use two different plates to do it. And obviously it's all linked in the PDF. You'll find all the link, like to whatever I am quoting or taking. So please, if you are curious about it, look further and research, investigate further. As I said, Paul Gogain is one of the artists that rediscovered, yeah, the technique. And he was a master of the method zero, what I call the method zero, because essentially he was drawing on the verso of the plate all the time. Yeah, he was drawing on the back of the paper and then playing with this kind of effect. Yeah, this is what Gogain was doing. Yeah, can you see? This is the back of the paper. Yeah, and this is his actual print. And they would use oil paint. And Gauguin was a master into hybridating, techniques. Ink remove, so yeah, this is what we have done. Another master that was great at ink removing. Degas got massively impressed, and he had a big flirt with the monotype technique. For a year, he produced a lot of monotype, and look what beauty, what synthesis. And is working with light and masses in here, yeah, very painterly. Camille Pissarro, she's another one that has been investigating and using monotype a lot, like just, yeah, and you can see again, like this is taking off ink. Oh, fantastic. Then more contemporary artists, when I was telling you, don't be trying to make yourself portrait. For life drawing as well is great. Monotype. If you go to a life drawing class or if you assist to one. And again, here we have like just different approaches of ink adding up. This is an artwork made by my good friend, and she's been adding up drawing this tiger, you know. This is like one of my demo with the octopus, adding up the ink. But Chagall, it was a lot better at adding up ink than us and taking off, as you can see here, the marks of the cotton buds and everything. And yeah, stencil that we have seen as well, how to do it. We can also use actual, actual leaves or vegetal elements. They always look great in printmaking. We could even print some broccoli. They look like trees. They look great. And also, yeah, we can overlap and pattern, as you can see in this quirky example. And the sketch transfer, again, sketch transfer, I'm gonna show you now if we have time. And that's it, just something very simple, and investigate more, like, just if you type on, if you type on the web, monotype, you'll find plenty of other tutorials. They probably, I haven't found any comprehensive of many different techniques as this class is going to be today, but like probably you can find more interesting thing. And okay, in just like 5 minutes method. And again, guys, work along with me. You don't have to look at me all the time. You don't have to look at the screen. Also, because most of the time, like my demos, they are actually a poem. I draw. It's very rare for me to like something that I have done during a demo, but I'm sure you have done like something much better. Okay, so now I show you the transfer. And then I'd like, if you like, I'd like to see what you have done, if you want to share it. Okay, so. Okay, sketching piece of paper, okay, go for it. Okay, so let's see. Because this is another way of working, okay? Well, I do the drawing because I was see nothing. I need to just get okay, so camel. It's a little bit like on the Christmas side again, because like the three kings, they came by the camels, whatever. So, okay, let's pretend this is a very beautiful drawing of a camel that I really wanted to be like that. Whatever. Sun, like all the kids, they do. Let's put a little bit of horizon. Okay, so let's pretend that this is an actual good sketch and drawing, yeah? And let's say that I am very, very worried and very, very that I want, yeah, to be precise in making of this monotype, yeah? So this is a permanent marker. And why I'm doing that, you will see in a minute. So the thing is, normally in everything we have done till now, yeah, we know that the final result is always flipped from the way we compose it, yeah? But look at that, magic. If we used with this method, we flipped it directly. Yeah, which means that our final print is gonna be in the verse of our sketch. And obviously that's very handy, yeah, if I want, let me see, is that true? Yeah, if I want to write camel, for example, yeah. Oh my God, I'm not doing any occult publicity in there, actually. I'm sorry. I'm just realizing that. Yeah, because like in this way, it's a lot easier for us to, yeah, to flip and mirror, yeah, because then like is already flipped and mirrored there, and it's gonna look in the right way in our print. And then we can yeah, we can paint our camel just by following, you know, we follow the contour because it's all in there already, yeah, it's all in there. So I know where everything is going.
So I guess this is quite useful for like if you want to do multiple,
yeah,
prints.
to do multiple one, because then like you always have your template on the back, and then you just have to keep, you know, adding the color where you want it, and then that's it, you know. So that's definitely like if you are after like a more stable kind of mini edition, then that's definitely something that's is very handy. And as I said, like you have a little bit of a guide here to how to flip, you know, the thing. But yeah, we are running out of time, so now I'm just gonna try to just knock this image out in some ways. We give the camera a little bit of sky. But again, like I've been very, very, you know, very messy, like very experimental in it. You can be as precise, you know, as you like, and also enjoy the pigments, you know, enjoy the brushwork, the mark making and all of that, because like it's great technique to do that. Monotype. give the camera an eye. Now I'm just gonna print it. I know it's not looking anything exciting yet. I'm gonna need ideally a little bit more time to make it exciting, but I just wanted to show you as well, like this last technique, because I think it's always very useful. So that's it. Let's give it.
That's really interesting, that use of the what do you call those, cotton buds?
Yeah, the cotton bud.
To redefine the line as well after you've sort of painted loosely. That's a nice technique.
Oh, and all of these you can even use in painting. You know, you can use the stamp and the stencil even when you are doing oil or acrylic paintings. You know, they are essentially like all the techniques that I've shown you. Like they are very prone and very suitable for hybridization. So yeah, well, as I said, it doesn't look anything exciting, but you can see the reverse writing, yeah, and you can see that the camel is more or less where I wanted it, and the sun is more or less where I wanted it. It looks like a 3 years old made from a 3 years old kid. But yeah.